I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military, and the police to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help take back your country.
Welcome back to Wake Up America. We begin with the escalating war now in the Middle East, right now entering its 7th day as U.S. and Israeli forces intensify their campaign against Iran.
So overnight, Israeli airstrikes pounded key targets in the capitals of Iran and Lebanon. The Israeli military releasing a video of strikes on what they describe as Lebanese weapons facilities linked to Hezbollah. Israel and the U.S. also now claim air superiority over Iran, with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth warning that strikes against the regime are about to surge dramatically. For more on all this, let's welcome in foreign policy expert, geopolitical analyst Harley Lippman, along with Vice President of National Security at the Heritage Foundation, foreign policy expert, Deputy National Security Advisor Victoria Coates. Good morning to you, Victoria. I'm going to start with you. It's been basically a week. Are you surprised at how quickly and thoroughly Iran's military capabilities have basically been eliminated?
Well, good morning, Mark and Charla. I mean, in a way, yes, what a difference a week makes. But at the same time, we learned during the 12-day war last year that the Iranians were basically defenseless against both Israel and the United States. And very important to remember, this is the first time we've executed a joint mission with the Israelis. We are demonstrating just extraordinary capabilities and declaring air superiority after essentially 6 days against a 90 million person, theoretically very strong military is amazing. And so, as Secretary Hegseth said, we're about to massively expand what we can do bombing-wise, because we don't need to use stealth aircraft anymore. We can fly a helicopter if we want to, and they can't do anything about it. So this has been an extraordinary demonstration of American might.
And Harley, Secretary Pete Hegseth is warning that strikes against Iran are only going to increase. How much more intense do you expect things to get?
It could get a lot more intense when you combine the effectiveness of two of the most powerful air forces in the world. It's an extraordinary force multiplier. So they're going to really hit so many more targets. Remember, Iran is a huge country. They hide a lot of things. So it requires a lot of cooperation in terms of intelligence and logistics to make sure that they don't forget anything. And they have to make sure that they crush the Iranian military so much that not only can they resist the United States and Israel and what we're doing, but it serves to demoralize the Iranian military so that they come to terms or surrender.
So, Victoria, President Trump now says he should have a big say in the next leader of Iran, much like he did with Venezuela. But I see a problem with that because Iran's leaders are religious zealots. That wasn't the case in Venezuela. What do you think?
Well, I think that might be part of it, Mark. And the key thing here is to disband the Guardians Council. That's the group that candidates for that's the top theocrats, and they pick the candidates. So that's how they've kept control of the country. Sure, they have quote unquote elections, but they've already picked the candidate, so they know who's going to win. It's a good way to bake your elections. But if you can disband that group, and those are a lot of the folks who have been targeted in these bombings of these top leadership meetings. So if that can be disbanded, then you can get a better system in place. You can have more people able to run for office. I think that's the process over time that will fix this.
And Harley, similar question to you. How do you expect this transition of power to come about, this regime change?
Well, I think President Trump is trying to strike the right balance. He's saying that on the one hand, we know we need to work with someone new, and Iran, you could pick that person. But obviously, we want to weigh in. We want to make sure that person isn't as bad or even worse than the previous ruler. So it only makes sense that the United States has a huge stake in this game. There's a war going on. But I think that the process is going to be complicated, because we also have to take into account the will of the people. The Iranian people have suffered terribly, and I think they want to say in this, can you get a ruler who's going to finally treat the Iranian people well to the point that the people will more or less accept that ruler? That's going to be very challenging. It's going to be a process, but this administration is working on it. They're getting together all the opposition groups, they're getting them united. There's going to be cohesion. But like anything in life, certainly in warfare, you may go 3 steps forward. You're going to go 1 or 2 steps backwards. But in the end, we're going to prevail. So we shouldn't get caught up in day-to-day disappointments or losses, because that will happen. We've been a bit spoiled with Venezuela. It was extraordinary, and we may have unrealistic expectations. It is a war, after all.
Yeah.
Good point. Harley Lippman, Victoria Coates, great to have your insight this morning. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.